What's up, gang? Today I want to show you how to conditionally display the cart icon in our header up here only if we have an item in our cart. And if we don't, it's not going to show up there. So you can see right now, I'm just on a demo site, we have our cart with the item 1 next to it. So let's click into the cart. If I exit out of this cart icon, you'll see it disappears, which is great. And now let's go back to our purchase page, and let's say I want to add an item. Watch my icon right up here, my header right up there. And boom, when you add it, it adds in. So this is what I'm going to show you how to do today. Okay, first things first, we don't ever want to use code unless we have to, unless we need to. And there is an option to do this without using any code at all. So if we edit our header over here, let's just hit edit, go to edit site header, and go to elements. These are all the elements that we can show up in our header area. And one of our options is cart. So if we toggle this off, that means the cart isn't going to show up here in the header. However, there still needs to be some way for the user to know they have a cart and there are items in it. So by default, what Squarespace does, if we have that header, the cart and header option toggled off and you hit add to cart, you will have a cart icon pop up down here. So this is kind of the default option. And this, of course, if we don't have an item in our cart and we hit exit, it's going to get rid of this. It'll show 0 right then. But then the next time the page loads, we don't have that icon down there. So if you just want a no-code way for this to work, this is the way to do it. It's very simple, very easy. You don't need any code. Now, if your design calls for the icon only to show up in the header if there's an item in your cart, then that's what we're going to walk through now. So a couple things we need to do. So all of the code, since we're going to be using full JavaScript with this, we're going to go to our website tools and code injection. So the code I'm going to add is all going to go here into our footer area. So there's kind of two components to this. Let's walk through the first now. I'm just going to copy this over here and we'll just paste it in right here. There we go. Okay, so there's really two components to this. We have this function right here that will display the cart if there are items in the cart. So you see here, we've targeted all of our cart items because there are multiple carts within our header. There's the mobile one and the desktop one. So we want to target all of those. So we're targeting all of those, and then we're going to loop through them all, and we're going to look inside that quantity element. We're going to say if the value of that quantity is more than 0, then we want to show it, display block. If it's not, we're going to say none. We don't want that to happen. And then we're just checking for the cart icon right down here and then running this function that we created. So you don't need to follow that. I'm just kind of explaining the general logic of what's going on. So let's hit save. And we can see that if I hit add to cart, oh, well, we still have that up down there. Now let's add this back to our header, I guess. I want to add this to our elements. And then cart in the header. Okay, and now you see it's up in there. And if we go here and we hit remove, you see it just goes back to 0. But if we refresh the page, it's not going to show the header in there. And that's because this code is only running once. This code is only running once on page load. Right when the page loads, that's when it shows. And so we're not going to see, even if I hit add to cart right here, you're not going to see it pop up until I refresh the page again. And so what we want to do is we want to sort of watch. We want to observe this element right here and want to look at it and say, if something changes within it, let's run this code. Let's run this function. If something changes within this, say this goes from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2, let's run this. And then we can be checking, okay, are there carts? Are there items in the cart? And so that's what this next bit of code is going to do. So let me just copy it from over here. Copy that. And let's replace it right in here. Okay, so now we have our new content in here. So you can see it's roughly the same. We have this function that displays the cart conditionally, and we also have this function down here that's just going to run it immediately when we load. But we also have two other components right here. We have our config setting, and then we're observing right here the element. So now we're observing our cart element, and we're going to listen for any changes that might happen in it. And I've set the elements right here in our config. So what this is doing is it's looking at our element and seeing if any of these items changes. Does the text change? Does the cart quantity change from 0 to 1, 1 to 2? And if it does, then we're going to run this function again right here. So if our change is the character data or it's a child component. If anything changes, then we're going to run this function again. And now, if we hit save, this should work for us. So let's remove this item from our cart. And boom, you see it's listening for that change and something changed. And so it's going to run the function again. There's 0 items in the cart, so it's going to display none. And now if we hit add to cart again, it's going to display again. So this is how this code works. I've got all of this code over on my website. You can just go copy and paste it and you'll be good to go. All right, now if you enjoyed what we just went over, I have a bunch of other resources for professional Squarespace designers and developers, and it's all part of my Code Curious membership. And you get this targeting library with targets to basically every element you might want to target within a Squarespace website, in a bunch of additional customizations. And then we also got this code catalog with dozens. I think we're over 80 now, and I'm adding more just every single week. Just a bunch of customizations you could add to your Squarespace website. So if you are interested in learning more about code or just expanding your Squarespace skills, consider signing up for this membership. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.